Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is heading back to the border today, but this time with 10 other GOP governors. The plan is to talk immigration policies and call attention to Biden's border crisis. This is as Border Patrol agents are bracing for what could be the largest surge ever of illegal immigrants attempting to enter our country from Mexico. Joining me now is former Kansas Secretary of State Kris Kobach. He's also the attorney representing Texas sheriffs and ICE agents in a lawsuit against the Biden administration. Kris, good morning. And your reaction to this latest move on the border, not just Governor Abbott and these other governors going down there again to address the crisis, but the new surge that's expected.
Well, you know, there is a new surge, and my reaction to it is this won't be the last surge. The reason we saw the previous incident with the 15,000 give or take Haitians under the bridge, and now this surge, is because the Biden administration policies have made it quite clear that once you get into the United States, you will not be deported. And that's what the Texas sheriffs are suing about in federal court right now. We're awaiting a preliminary injunction. The Biden administration has effectively shut down ICE. It's almost impossible for an ICE officer to bring a deportation and to remove someone from the country, even if that person has committed multiple crimes and has been deported multiple times before. The Biden administration's new policies, actually they've been in place since February, have made interior enforcement all but non-existent. And that sends a clear message to countries to our south. Indeed, it sends a clear message all around the world. Once you get past the border, you're free to go. You're not going to be removed from the United States. And that is what's bringing people in.
Well, that's something that Maria has pointed out time and time again. It's the gotaways. I mean, at the end of the day, we really don't know those numbers, but it's estimated in the tens of thousands. And that is, I mean, these are people that aren't being tested for COVID. We don't know their backgrounds. They could be criminals. I mean, there's so many concerns about these gotaways. And Maria's right to point out that the Biden administration is basically gaslighting the media on this issue.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because the gotaways are an unknown number and a very large number. It's not, you know, the numbers in recent months has been about 200,000 a month that are apprehended by the Border Patrol. But with the gotaways, it could be $400,000 people a month. And it truly is extraordinary because they're not being tested for COVID. They're not being cleared. Their criminal backgrounds are not being checked. This truly is an anti-immigration policy. It's a policy, an anti-policy. We're absolutely allowing people in this country with no vetting, absolutely no control of our border. There is no effective border in the United States because of the Biden administration's policies. That's why we're bringing this lawsuit. And
there's Maria with Governor Abbott. The last time that she was down there, she's been reporting extensively from there. And I also want to say here, and I want to bring in KT McFarland into this, because KT, something else Maria constantly talks about is the amount of fentanyl that is crossing the southern border and the danger that poses to the U.S.
Yeah, it's not just who's coming, but what are they bringing with them when they're coming. A lot of it is the fentanyl. I mean, China has made it pretty clear that they want to flood the United States with made-in-China fentanyl, the same way that they feel the world and the Western powers imposed on China 200 years ago in the Opium Wars. For China, it's all about revenge and kind of getting even and the role of history. But the other thing is we just witnessed the fall of Afghanistan, right? We now know that there are a lot of terrorists on the loose. There are a lot of people around the world who now want to come into America and do harm. What better, easier way to do it than to come through the border knowing that they're not going to be tracked, they're not going to be traced. Once they get here, do whatever you want. I think it's a really big national security issue, as well as an economic, humanitarian, and every other issue you want to make.
Kris, your response to that?
Yeah, KT's got a very good point there. What's happening with our Border Patrol is that they're all being forced into this processing of these massive waves of migrants coming in, and they're no longer having enough Border Patrol officers to guard the rest of the border, which is wide open, and that's where the smugglers bring in the drugs. That's where they bring in all of the bad things while they're dealing with processing all of these people who are coming in and lining up and announcing themselves to the border because they know they're going to be allowed in anyway. As one Border Patrol officer put it to me, they're being treated like Uber drivers for people coming into the United States. And they, think about their perspective. They trained their whole career to protect the border, to fight against the inflow of drugs and criminals. Instead, they're processing people into the United States who have no valid claim to asylum, and meanwhile the border is left wide open for terrorists and drugs. It's a horrible situation we're in.
I saw one activist saying that they're expecting like 1 million people at the border. 1 million people. That is just jaw-dropping to me. Kris, before I let you go, you are representing Texas sheriffs and ICE agents in this lawsuit against the Biden administration. The lawsuit says that they're not allowing officers to deport illegal immigrants with criminal backgrounds. Where's the suit stand right now?
We have a preliminary injunction pending before the judge, a motion for a preliminary injunction. We hope for a ruling on that preliminary injunction in the near future. The sooner the better, because once we can allow ICE officers to start doing their job again and Border Patrol officers to start removing people and protecting the border, then we will see this flow stop.
All right, Kris Kobach, thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it.